Hello people, today I'm going to be making a reaction video to 7 Signs He's a Low Value Man. Get Out by Anna Bay. I haven't watched more than about 20 seconds of it, and judging by that and her face, I think it'll be pretty good, interesting content. Before I get into it, I'd also like to point out that I've recently made a video called Wokeism, the Narcissistic Social Family Unit, which is a very well put together video that hasn't received many views, so please go check that out after this one. Anyways, here we go.
My dear elegant ladies, now there might be 7 signs that you are dating a loser. Okay, when I say loser, I don't necessarily mean a loser. To tell you the truth, low quality man was too long to write in the title, so let's keep it simple by just calling him a loser today. But in reality, I'm really referring to any form of man that might not be worthy of your time, your effort, and your love whatsoever. Sadly, in our society, a lot of women are being desperate, a lot of women are wasting too much time on the wrong type of man, and in this video, we are stopping with that behavior as of right now. Now, before we start with point number 1, you need to be aware that, of course, there might be some things that are going to sound like the partner you are with right now. I'm not telling you to leave him, but I'm telling you that maybe you should start thinking about setting boundaries and your own self-worth.
Setting boundaries and your own self-worth, that's basically female lingo, code word for trying to find the next Chad to monkey branch to before they end things with the dude. So she basically is telling them to break up with the guy.
Now let's dive into sign number 1. You're dating a loser if he expects you to go 50-50 in the relationship with him, or if he wants to split the bill with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much wrong with that right off the bat. I mean, where do I begin? Basically, women don't respect simps, first of all. So if you do go out there and you pay for women's stuff all the time, they just expect more and more and more, to the point where they don't respect you. Last time I tried that in a relationship a year or so ago, I was taking this girl out to dinner basically every weekend, and then we went out for fish and chips, and the bill came and it was like literally $90, and I was like, yeah, we have to split it this time. And you know, I paid for a lot of dates after that, and then I think that we got into a big fight because I refilled the bathtub at her house after it got cold, and then I got yelled out for wasting the water. So basically, also, guys that just pay for women's everything, they basically see it as that they're just buying women on some level. And the issue that women face when they go for guys like that is that when the guy starts to earn more money or comes across a lump sum of cash, maybe made a good investment or something, do you know what's going to happen? He's going to upgrade to a younger, hotter, hypergamous woman. So it's not even good advice for women to aim for that in a relationship. Not to mention the maths just doesn't math. I mean, women have broken their backs for the last 5 decades trying to make it so that they get paid more than men. So there's less and less men that have more money. So I doubt this woman's going to turn around and say, women, you should all quit your jobs so that men's salaries go up comparatively, because, you know, when you flood the workplace with women, everyone's salaries get cut in half. And then when men stop living with women, the housing prices double. So a lot of the problems that we face in the economy are the result of the relationship between men and women. But obviously nothing is ever feminists' fault, and it's always the men's fault.
Now, I'm not going to go too deep on this subject because I've already spoken so much on this subject on my channel, why I believe men should pay more than women in a relationship. But this is all bound to the fact that society is not equal for men and women. First of all, we are not 100% equals, and we can never become equals simply because biologically we are not built equally, okay? Men have a certain advantage, biologically speaking, than women. Whilst women, because, you know, we are the caretakers, we're the ones who carry the child, etc. We might never have the same equal opportunity to make the same career, to make the same amount of money, etc. Plus, as you know, on the job market, women tend to earn less than men, you know, on average. It's just a sad reality, even though, of course, things are changing. But
Zero mention of strength and its relationship to manual labor, or, those other things we can't talk about relevant to how men have made like 99% of inventions on the planet. We're going to forget about that as well. Oh, and also how women are afraid to invest in new scary internet money. I think only like 5% of crypto investors are women, and they probably have like some pocket change in there. So when Bitcoin takes off and becomes the world currency, the gender gap is going to get bigger. And you know who's going to get blamed for that? Men.
Not only that, women also have different types of expenses than men simply because they are women. We actually have to spend more to keep ourselves attractive. And of course, we are attractive because men want us to be attractive. Women spend more on clothes than men. Women spend more on sanitary products than men. Women spend more on beauty products than men, etc., etc., etc.
And Botox.
Sorry. So if he wants to go 50-50 in the relationship, that just simply shows that he doesn't want to step into this masculine role. Plus, he is not a provider, and he might not even be generous. So I don't know if those are the qualities that you want to work with in this relationship. I'm not forcing this upon you. If you are fine with this, then that's absolutely okay. No hard feelings from my end. But I'm just here to tell you that it's okay as a woman to expect that the man has to pull some financial load a bit more than the woman in a relationship. Sign number 2 that you are dating a loser, and that is if he makes you feel weird or crazy or a psychopath or clingy if you want commitment from him.
Yeah, I wonder why guys have that attitude. When girls push for commitment with guys, and the guys give in to that commitment, it doesn't usually go well for the guy. Usually, if you just keep holding back and letting the girl chase and chase and chase and not committing, she'll remain loyal and treat you with respect. When you start committing more to women, that's when you notice abuse and disrespect coming from women. They see it as a green light. I've got him in his emotions. Now I can emotionally manipulate and abuse him, and then try and make him look like the crazy one when he gets angry.
And when I say commitment, ladies, I'm talking about being in a relationship. Are we an item? Are we not? Or let's say you want to have an engagement, or let's say you want marriage, or you want kids, etc. There are so many men out there who paint the picture as if the woman is the psycho who wants these things, that something is wrong with her, like stop pushing me type of thing.
Let's just be honest. There is a lot of good reason that men have that perspective of a lot of women. I mean, women's mental health needs to be addressed on a social level. The amount of narcissistic women out there with these contradictory beliefs where they push for feminist ideals while simultaneously wanting all the benefits of traditionalism, the institution that they are actively destroying. All of these contradictory things that they have. I mean, I was working on another video, but I might even just open it up now because it's very fitting. And this video is going to be about all the women's contradictory standards. The man must earn twice as much as her, but women need to be paid as much as men. The man must lead the relationship. Women should not submit to a man's lead. You have to be loyal. Women are attracted to men that cheat and punish loyal men. You have to be respectful. Respecting women often leads to disrespect. Men should initiate relationships. Asking women out is harassment. Men need to communicate more. Neediness and expression is punished by women. Men need to be fun. Men need to take things more seriously. You need to fix things and be a man. Cleaning and vacuuming is oppressive to women. Men need to work hard. Men work too much and don't give women enough attention. Men need to pay for dates and gifts and holidays and her nails and her Botox in this case. Men need to be financially responsible. Men need to be passionate. Men need to be stoic. Men need to be spontaneous. Men need to plan everything. Man.
This is the thing. I'm not saying it should only be the way us women want it to be. If we want to give birth tomorrow, doesn't mean that that's fair, okay? But there has to be a way where we meet halfway.
Yeah, meet halfway, like maybe splitting the bills after the entire society we live in has been reorganized economically and governmentally to benefit women.
This is the disadvantage of being a woman. We have a body clock to think of. We can't just, spend 10 years waiting for him to finish clubbing and then then he will decide if he wants to marry or not. But
I often wonder how bad the marriage laws have to get before all men stop getting married. I know a lot less are now, but I reckon that there would be a significant number of men that would still get married if they got beheaded if the wife chose to divorce them. They'd see it as a great thing. They'd be, all these chads are out of my competition now because they're not going to risk that. All of these simps would still go ahead with it, even with that risk. That's the world we live in. But yeah, that's why so many women still expect marriage from men, even though it's like the worst deal ever, where they're rewarded if they break the contract.
Sign number 3, that you're dating a loser. If he is flaky, ghosts you, vanishes, or is completely unreliable.
Guys, take it from me. Learn from my mistakes. I don't think I've ever ghosted a girl, ever stood up a girl, ever done any of this stuff. But I will say doing the opposite of these things gets you absolutely punished, absolutely destroyed. And the guys that do these things to girls, they have multiple women after them. It might be partially because they're really good looking guys and the women just put up with it. But I think a lot of it is also the fact that women are just obsessed with what other women want and what they can't have. So yeah, women reinforce these behaviors in men. So while she's telling women not to do this, yeah, I guess it's good advice, but it's not the guy. It's not really that there's a type of guy that does this. It is that women reward this behavior. And basically, women do not see these guys as losers. You could be actually quite an ugly guy and just treat women like that, and they'll automatically think you're a winner. They'll think you're a Chad.
Oh, haven't we all met this type, ladies? Now, this is such a classic scenario, especially, haven't we also met so many women who are like, oh, I love him so much. So she basically accepts that type of behavior, or she puts up with it because, well, I don't really have anything better going on for myself.
This woman's pretending not to get it. I know she gets it. It's not that these girls don't have any better options with guys that will treat them better. It's that they enjoy the mistreatment. Because if they're treated well and they're still not happy, they can only blame themselves. They want a guy to mistreat them, these types of women, so that they can blame all of their problems on the guy. And that way they don't ever have to take responsibility for their own failed life.
Well, I kind of like this guy, You see what I mean? There is no excuse for a man to be unreliable or flaky.
What if he wants regular blowjobs and that's the best way to get it because when he's reliable and stable, he gets less blowjobs? Is that a reasonable excuse?
I need to tell you one thing, that rule number 1 in dating is that if he doesn't keep his promises, if he's unreliable, if he ghosts you, then one time, okay, things happen. Second time, bye. Ladies, you don't deserve to be with somebody who cancels on you last minute for basically no reason or repeatedly doing this as part of his behavior. I mean, there are so many examples that I think we all have been through with flaky men and men who simply gives us all these promises and then nothing ever happens. All these promises came because actually he had an agenda. He wanted to sleep with you, get you in bed so that you would give him what he wants before he delivers his fake promise. Okay, I think I need to calm down a little bit now. But this subject really fires me up.
I bet she just starts getting dripping wet with men who are attentive and treat her well. This one, I know, I can feel it. Can feel it.
Like a firecracker. Let's just say exactly how it is. If a man is inconsistent, I really don't believe he's that into you. Like, okay, that's the cliche saying, but it really is that simple. A man who is into you, he is going to call you. He is going to make an effort. He is going to...
And you are going to ghost him, probably. Every time, guys, like clockwork. I swear that there's this law of the universe with modern narcissistic women, that the better you treat them, or the more you like them, the more they mistreat you. And they wonder why guys mistreat them when they start treating guys that do that really well. It's just basic cause and effect. And I think deep down they know what's going on and they play stupid. They just all playing stupid because it's social manipulation.
Climb mountains and walk on seas in order to see you, even if it's a bit difficult right now. Yes, it's hard to meet high quality men. I get it, because men are so spoiled today. It's truly a...
Yeah. I mean, what do you even say to that? Like, this woman even looks like a spoiled child. Like, she's standing in there in her mansion that I'm sure she probably didn't even have to pay for herself. Like, it's amazing the level of delusion where, like, modern women in Western society are the most privileged organic entities to have ever walked the face of the earth. They are given every opportunity that men are, and they're given handouts on top of that. They're given special treatment on top of that. And, like, it's incredible how they still want to maintain their victim status. And I think it goes deep into the human psyche, the female psyche, particularly the narcissistic ones, where they need this constant assurance that they're always the victim and that men have it so much easier than them. The only woman that I know who ever tried to live as a man, there was like this feminist woman that tried to live as a man to make a documentary on how much easier it is to be a man. Do you know what happened to her? She got depressed and then she decided to delete himself after seeing how men are treated.
Challenge. But what's worth is settling for less. I mean, I'd rather be single than be with somebody who is really not up to the level that I think I deserve to be treated. Now, before we continue, I know it's a big challenge that we don't know where to meet men and where to meet the elites in general. So you know that I do have a cheat sheet with over 210 places of ideas and suggestions for you where you can actually go to meet men, to meet the elite, and simply make new connections.
She's really not helping the dumb blonde stereotype, is she? She's teaching women to meet the elite men that have thousands of options. And and then they're wondering why they're getting ghosted. I mean, they can't be this stupid, guys. They can't be this stupid. I don't believe it. Like, this has to be some kind of a joke from the universe. Like,
this is a free gift from me to you. Just simply go to millionaireplaces.com and download this free cheat sheet today. Now, sign number 4, that you are dating a loser. And okay, before I say what it is that I'm about to say, I know that some of you ladies are going to have a partner like this. So my disclaimer is that this is just a cliche example. If he does some of these things, doesn't mean that he's a complete loser. Of course not. But I'm just giving this to you as a guidance, and I think you can also see that this is a bit of a metaphor for the type of persona that I'm about to describe. So here we go. Sign number 4. You're dating a loser if he lacks depth, has no other interest than watch football, drink beer, play video games, and watch porn. Obviously, this is generalization, this is stereotyping, etc. It's just a metaphor in this case. This could be translated in all kinds of different shapes, sizes, and forms in reality. All I'm saying that it's about a man who lacks depth.
so this is another contradictory point. she's saying to find guys that don't like football, video games, and like all this normie stuff. But when women find a guy that's not a normie, that doesn't really care about football and all that kind of stuff, the guy's probably going to be a bit of a loner. And so they'll use that. Oh, this guy doesn't have many friends, so he's a loser now. So you can't really be a guy in this society and not care about football, video games, all that other stuff that normies care about, and have your own interests that are unique, counterculture, and go against the grain and cause conflicts within friendship circles, and still find a guy that has a lot of friends. So I'm not sure if a guy having a lot of friends is going to be one of her next points coming up, but it wouldn't surprise me because it would be contradictory.
Because there's this stereotype that women, or oftentimes women, can be airheads, especially blonde women. So they say that a woman can easily be an airhead, a dumb bimbo, a blondie, all of those horrible stereotypes. But come on, have you never heard about the fact that a man can equally be so, and the fact that actually in this world there are so many of them?
Yeah, women actually prefer men that are neurotypical. Like, they don't like eccentric weirdos. Nikola Tesla did not reproduce. You know what I mean? It's like men that are neurotypical are a little bit easier to manipulate, and I think that's their appeal.
Oh yes, I have met many of them. They even exist in high society, believe it or not. First of all, I think we can all say that it's not very attractive. I don't really know what you're going to have in common with each other. I do believe though that since you are here on this channel, you're probably very elegant and cultivated and have a brain going for yourself that you don't really want to be with somebody who is less intelligent than you. Just think about, what are you going to be talking to this man about for the rest of your life? Let's say you become married. I don't know. I think life is too short to waste with the wrong person.
I mean, my experience as like a really intelligent guy dating women, with maybe like 2 or 3 exceptions, is that the fact that I am like smart is not something that works in my advantage. It usually ends up with like the woman having a mental breakdown and like, will you stop talking about this because I don't care and I don't understand it and it's not on the news and my friends don't talk about it and it's weird. So smart people talk about things that aren't on the news all the time, and it can drive a lot of normies insane. I think because women are more conformist than men, that a lot more women are normies. So when they're with smart dudes, they can go a bit crazy.
Make sure you find somebody you have things in common with. Sign number 5 that you are dating a loser, and that is if he lacks any form of basic gentleman skills. And with gentleman skills, come on, I think this is very universal. We don't even really have to pay attention to cultures. I think that holding up the door for a woman rather than throwing it in her face is basic manners all men kind of know about, right? Or let's say, as an example, you're walking next to the man and it's a little bit chilly. You're wearing a short sleeve top or something like that, and it's a little bit cold, and he doesn't offer to give his jacket to you. Or
I was once walking home with a girl, and she didn't have a jacket or anything, and it was cold, and I had a jacket, and I took my jacket off and then put it over my shoulder and smiled at her. And we had sex later that night like 3 times. The times I have given my jacket to a woman, I don't remember if I have. But I doubt it would have got me any more pussy than I was already getting from the woman.
The things that I see a lot, and this I think you also know, is when the man is so nonchalant, doesn't really care about his woman. He walks in front of her, he doesn't even wait for her, doesn't even look back to see if she's still behind him. So rude. And
so some real life feedback I've actually had from women is letting them walk in front of you is bad. Walking in front of them is also bad. Walking next to them is also bad. Holding hands is bad, and not holding hands is bad. Not even kidding, I've had feedback of each of them from different women I've dated. So basically, women should probably start dating paraplegics, and then they won't be walking in front or behind. You'll be pushing him.
Sign number 6. You're dating a loser if he starts manipulating you. Once you understand that, you know what? I need to set some boundaries in this relationship. I need to reclaim some unfairnesses that has been going on. So he starts saying that you're materialistic, you're the B word, you're a gold digger.
You literally just had an ad for women on where to meet millionaires and elites. Are you also delusional?
Or who knows, maybe he says, be quiet, woman. Who do you think you are? Sit down or go to the kitchen, go back to your place. I mean, truly, you might think that I'm joking right now, but there are many men like that. I think it is a warning sign. If a man is reacting aggressively, once you start setting fair boundaries. And when I say fair boundaries, because I know that it's hard to understand in the beginning. Am I doing the right thing? Am I being too selfish now myself? Is this fair or not? But you really need to trust the situation, and you of course can take some advice from your surroundings as well. But if you are setting fair boundaries where you are not being too selfish now it's not just about what you want, it's about meeting halfway. That's what boundaries is all about. And the man reacts very harshly.
So this term setting boundaries, like I said before, it's just code speak in women's terminology. It can be monkey branching like it was in the prior example. In this example, it's actually a form of them doing a shit test. So when they're setting a boundary in this circumstance, it's basically them doing the hot and cold strategy on a guy where like they'll probably love bombing the dude, and then they're setting a quote unquote boundary and just like completely going silent and ghosting, basically doing exactly what this woman was accusing men of doing before. So when women use the term setting boundaries, it's not a defensive posture to protect themselves. It's actually usually a form of aggression towards the man, a form of passive aggression, and what they want to do is emotionally trigger the man to get them angry and then to gaslight them. So, you know, that's what she's going to be describing now, is like the men getting angry when women are emotionally abusing them, and they just kind of like to paint it as setting a boundary, when it could be something like, you know, I like to have breakfast with Chad on Sundays.
Very crazily. I think you need to be a little bit cautious of what you're dealing with, because potentially this could be a man that you should be stepping away from. There are men who are just narcissistic, selfish, or too defensive, or lack ability to do any form of change within themselves. Now, I don't know if that's worth to build a future with. So that could potentially be a situation where you have to choose yourself and choose your own needs first.
So in today's society, there's a lot of women out there that are covert narcissists. What covert narcissists do is they always try and make themselves look like they're the good person, while they're the ones that are incredibly selfish and narcissistic. And what they do is they will deliberately trigger men into being aggressive. They'll find a man that could just be a normal guy, not a narcissist whatsoever. But they'll keep triggering the guy, triggering, playing games, as they call it, setting boundaries, doing all these weird psychological manipulation tactics. And when the guy reacts and has had enough, they point the finger and go, aha, you're the crazy one. And a lot of guys are seeing through this. It's like really played out because we have the internet now. Guys can talk about it. It's pretty transparent, even for people like myself that aren't even that socially calibrated. And like I've said before, a lot of women will actually actively chase men who are narcissistic, but also there's these women out there that will be in relationships with regular guys, but they'll evoke the narcissistic traits out of that man because they're constantly provoking him, constantly doing this and that. And so when you hear stories from women who are like, oh, my ex was a bad person, my other ex was a horrible person, my other one was, know that the problem is definitely them, because they're doing all of these stupid games that they've probably read from some female PUA book, and they're running game on men and then playing the victim. Amber Heard style.
Because believe me, there are are men who are willing to meet you halfway, who are fine with certain boundaries in a relationship, and who are not expecting you to be a doormat or to do everything for him or to be it all about the way he wants things to be. Be careful, ladies. Sign number 7, and the last sign that you are dating a loser, and that is if you are in a serious committed relationship with somebody who is still partying all night long, every weekend, and cannot be without his clubbing with the boys.
So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. You can get some credits from Unstoppable Domains in the video link description below, and also give me some free credits. Join up to KBII using the affiliate link and give me some more free credits as well. Also, I highly recommend you get some privacy coins like Pirate Chain and Dero. And if you want, give me some in my wallet addresses in the description below as well. Pirate Chain and Dero, both privacy coins. Dero is a smart contracts platform that's private, so basically like a private version of Ethereum. And you know, why would you want every transaction that you make to be tracked, taxable, and bannable? So I think that privacy coins are going to be the future of cryptocurrency and probably a really good investment.